Oh my gosh, we're back. We're back again. I realized all of my videos were set to private for the last multiple months. Except for one that got 75 views. And the rest views were just me. Because they're messages from me too. And you know what I learned? And I've been researching investments and money. And when you're not depressed and you're taking care of your mental health, there's nothing wrong with being depressed. But when you're using life as a holistic little scale, and you're like, I don't think I'm gonna get this exactly straight, but life is not exactly a straight fucking line. It's not. And come here. You fed, you pooped. I was about to say something, I won't say it. About her poop. This is life, though. About to go skate with some of my friends. One of my friends for sure. Alright. We don't actually know all the information. So sometimes you don't know that all your shit's set on private, and then that's why nothing's happening. And also, you don't know what's holding you back. You might not be ready for things before they happen. So there was a time where I kept looking at investments when I was making more money, but I wasn't ready to trust at that time to put money that I've worked hard for, that I felt like I was working hard for. Come here, Boogie! Come here! I left the window open. Anyway, I felt like I was working hard for that money, and I didn't invest it, and I could have made so much money over the last couple of years, especially over the last 4 years when I was in this one job, and I increasingly made more and just kept spending more, and I kept being a people pleaser. And this is the message, it's when you're understanding yourself psychologically and spiritually and what's happening, you begin to grow in other aspects of your life. I just watched a video on how Alex Hormozi, very, very wealthy person, very motivational, starts businesses. He gained a lot of experience by losing things, and he just had something happen where he was like, I was really depressed and like I had to pay a bunch of money out, and I was really having a hard time with that. It was like an unexpected bill, but for him it was like millions of dollars, and he just really had a huge emotional reaction to that. And it boils down to emotions. It boils down to understanding how your body works, your triggers, what's happening, instead of, and I'm not relating this to him in any way, I'm just started getting insights for my own life, and I can only talk about my own experiences, but I've known that what has propelled me forward, at least in my state of mind, to want to achieve more, to want to stay on the planet, to want to keep helping, even though there's shootings and war and fire and destruction, basically. What keeps us up? It's a drive to want to live, and it's a drive to want to solve problems in the world and fulfill your purpose here. So that's what these readings are about. It's about fulfilling your purposes, all of your purposes, because all of them together weave a beautiful tapestry that is going to surpass anything negative, any fear, and it's going to completely blanket the world and shift the world. Our conscious attention is the most important thing, and I'm being guided to pull from this book, Walking with God. Making friends and live longer. Anointment and perfume delight the heart, and the sweetness of man's friend gives delight, by Hardy Counsel. Friendships have a bigger impact on our psychological well-being than family relationships. A good friendship is to the heart what oils the medicines are to the body. What oils and medicines are to the body. Heck yes! I feel that strongly. A lot of you might not know how to make friends, and I'm kind of guided to explain this a little bit. We're going to pick some cards, but I wanted to tell you how to make friends, it starts with yourself. It starts with understanding, who am I? What type of friends make me feel safe? what is it that makes me feel safe in the presence of other people? Is it their emotional compatibility to me? Is it um like how do I feel safe with friends? Who do I feel safe approaching to try to build relationships with them? A lot of people work with people and they become your friends, but sometimes that's not the most compatible friendships you can have. Like, hopefully, I've made some really good friends through work, and it's mostly shared interests. It's mostly shared interests, though. So hopefully, yeah, you do get to see people. But I like having friends doing a bunch of different types of jobs. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my property management friends, but I'm just saying, like, I love everybody that does different things so I can get different perspectives. So I try to do random activities like rock climbing. I met one of my other friends that I actually met through being a client for property management looking for an apartment. I met at a rock climbing gym again like years ago, and now we've been friends. So activities, showing up regularly to places, coffee shops where you say hi to people. Even if they're not your direct friends that you're creating, you're building relationships with people. And maybe one day when you walk in, they might have a girlfriend sitting there and you guys become friends because you both skate. Like, that's happened too. Or like they are coming in and they have a friend and then you might begin dating that girl. Like, you know what I mean? So there's a bunch of different ways that you can be around people. Even just picking a job that you might be meeting more people and getting, like, I used to be so shy, guys. I had a lot of energy and I had a lot of, like, yeah, I get energy from people and I love to talk and interact and I love to listen, but I wasn't always good at it, you know? People in college, oh, it's kind of a little bit embarrassing, but it hurt me when they, you know, they didn't want to say hi to me. Sometimes some of them didn't want to say hi to me because I would just sit and chat for a while. And I learned how to do that in a way where you read cues of people and then you just understand the whole environment. Like, if everyone's trying to get to classes, they would be like, or at least I'd be like late for my classes. Like, you wouldn't shut up about the law of attraction and shit. And we were fascinated by it, but there's a time and place. And then that time and place was when we were drinking, and then no one was really listening. They just thought it was like a party trick. But there's aspects of life where you can do that freely, like clubs, book clubs, different things that you can do, writing clubs. I go to the Center for Spiritual Living and they have like food after, and then you just sit with people of all ages too. You just start socializing. I sat with a guy and played chess and I got his card, and he's a geologist. I think it's geologist, yeah, and he studies stones, and he was able to help me get, oh, my heart started hurting, some properties for stones. But I mean, I'm not really close with him, but I'm just saying there's ways to start meeting people and getting out there so that you don't feel so deformed. You don't feel so like a broken misfit toy. Yeah. So I don't know if let me know if any of that resonated with you guys, because that really felt good to talk about. Or if you have any questions about that. I would also suggest, if you're really afraid to speak, not all the people need you to speak. You could just be doing activities together. Find running groups or biking groups where you don't have to talk the whole time, but you get to interact with people, and or coffee shops, like where you're in your own world. But it comes from being secure in yourself and starting that process of understanding, what do I like to do? Who is me? Who am I? Who am I? And I got Aquarius. So Aquarian energy, you could be an Aquarius, you can have Aquarius in your first 3, but I always think of Aquariuses as humanitarianism, and they are watering the earth. They're pouring into the oceans of the earth. They are pouring into also the emotional collective of the earth, but from a perspective, it's an air sign of intellect. From a perspective of, I carried this water over here. They aren't the water themselves. They aren't living in the water. Well, technically, I guess in the earth, but they are water barriers. So it kind of goes back to that whole idea. The earth is what, 80% water, maybe even higher. What does water represent? emotions. So the earth is a feeling being. We're on a feeling planet. And we like to act like all these social media platforms are just these ways to make money or gain social status, but it really has to do with our feelings. It's tapping into that aspect of reality that we wanted to digitize. But I asked AI, I asked ChatGPT, it can't feel. It can't feel. We can feel. That's our purpose. Everyone's like, oh, our jobs and all this stuff, everything's going to be taken away. No, AI can't feel. Okay? We can feel. We have compassion. We have the emotion. So we have to build a society that is, I was going to say dependent on that, but we're already dependent on those feelings because we react from them and act like nothing's happening in our feelings, or call people crazy that study feelings and that are spiritual, but on a wide perspective, but now that's changing. We need to enact a society that bases our society and structures off of what we are biologically, mostly freaking water. And water is very influenced. You can influence it with words, vibrations, touch. You can influence it. We're sensitive beings. We're sensitive beings. Watch a reality TV show, watch debates. Like all of these mainstream people, they're very sensitive. It's power. The ancient Egyptians understood this. We need to maximize the power of that. We need to maximize our emotional ability. I'm not saying live on your reactionary emotions. I'm saying understand yourself emotionally so that you can choose to react. But we have a big misunderstanding in this society right now, and I got the Sun. It's a very positive card. We have this understanding that it's coming to the light of consciousness in our perception that we need a big change. We need to solve a big problem. And people for a long time have been saying the answer is love, but we need to embody that love in every ounce of our day, in every decision we make, in every reaction we have, and in ourselves. We need to embed it in our actions in self. And the thing is, we already are it. It's just explaining it is hard because it's a feeling, right? But we need to start trying to explain it. We need to start trying to understand what our world is driven by. The sun creates all life on earth in combination with the water. Goddamn. Sigil of Avalon. Wow, that's crazy because this is a symbol for female. The feminine energy of the earth and the wizardry in that ability in every single human being, whether male, female, non-binary, you have this feminine energy within you that is it's misunderstood, but it's also being lifted up. Oh my God, I'm doing it with my hands. It's that V shape. It's the receiving energy. We need to be able to receive love and abundance in our life so that we can create it. I didn't create all this stuff on my own. I didn't create how to heal on my own. I prayed. I had to be like this. The universe had to go like this with me. And then I finally had to go, and everything got better. I'm not saying to do that if someone's physically strangling you, but I'm saying everything got better when I surrendered. I need help. I don't know everything, and I am going to let Spirit lead me. That song, Spirit Lead Me. Go look it up. Yeah, the light of consciousness is a huge aspect of this. We are ascending. We are ascending in consciousness. What does that mean? That means you have a vital part to play because you are understanding yourself at a greater level. That may be through, I want more for myself in my individual life. That may be, I want to do a better job at helping the world. You can start where you are now. Nothing has ever gotten built by just plop, you're the manager of Tesla. No, you started with a grand old vision. You started with your skills, how to implement them, PayPal, all of these different things. Then well, I'm talking about the CEO of Tesla, but I'm just saying, then you go into another company or you see a greater vision for yourself, right? You knew how systems work, and they all have a relatable aspect. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, a business owner like the rest of my family, and they weren't really successful in my eyes. They were successful in like creating me and the genes, but there was all these blocks and mental health things and stuff to keep them out. And I feel like what's been missing in my family line, and this could be for you too, is the spiritual feeling aspect. Everyone was just so harsh in Pennsylvania where I grew up. It's like, come on, like, let's just be a little nicer to everybody. Like, do we have to scream at each other to get our point across, or like just let me do whatever I want? You know, I'm not inherently dangerous. It makes me want to do crazy shit when you're screaming at me. You know what I mean? So it's just like the repressed emotion are what makes you make bad decisions. No, we don't want to just sit here and waste our life away and be dangerous. We want to have excitement through life, and we do that in ways that squeeze us into positions where you think you have to drink and do drugs and do things to get this excitement, or be with these risky people to be getting this excitement out of life. But you don't actually have to do that. You can create something that's something that you've never done before, that's hard, but you have a vision, you have a skill. I'm gonna pull from the tarot. You've been fighting for this, you've been working on this, and there, I keep looking up at this image, and I drew it because there was a very dark period of time in my life where I didn't want to be on the planet, and this could be something that you're struggling with, and I do not take it lightly. Definitely call a suicide hotline. But I'm saying the statement that got me through a lot, and this is not advice, but I'm just saying, if you have really bad depression episodes, the statement that got me through in the mind was, well, I was sleeping on a beach, and I had all my stuff surrounded by me, and I had just been sexually abused, and I was sleeping on a beach, and I was kind of like, whoa, this sucks. I know this sucks. I was completely numb. I couldn't really feel anything, and I'm like, I know I should be really sad right now, but I'm kind of just, it's over, you know? And I just thought about dying, and for that whole week. But what got me up the next morning was the thought, I might as well try. And there's been many other times in my life where I thought of that, but that's where it kind of started to happen, where I had this idea, I might as well try, even if I get everything wrong. And I was like 19 or 20 at the time, and I was like, even if I get everything wrong, I might as well just try. I'm alive for a reason. It's not going to be easy, but I wasn't even thinking of all that. I was just, I might as well try. And I know this took a dark turn, but it could even be at any level. You don't have to be suffering that bad, and I really hope you're not. But you honestly, at any level, could go, I might as well try. You might have fights with your colleagues. You might have disagreements with people. But that's where that self in the beginning that I was talking about, that self-assurance in the beginning of your, I was going to say of your life, but before you start going and doing, just focus on you. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you need to do. Not everyone's going to understand. Not everyone's going to want that. You start investing $500 a month into investments, or however you want to do it, and people have all these things to say about it. You do what you want to do. You've researched this shit. You understand there are things that change reality, like the internet. AI is a new thing that's changing our reality. Investing in AI right now it's going to go up. It's going to go up. You can invest in it however you think that is plausible for you, but I'm saying it's going to go up. And at one point I was like, everything's going to collapse, like there's no point. But I thought about this 10 years ago, I would have made at least $50,000. At least. If I were to invest. I thought everything was going to collapse when I was 19. I awoken very young. And I was like, well, everything is going to collapse. I don't have to do shit. And I sat in fighting mode and I sat in conflict with the world, conflict with reality, with living. And that's the first thing, that's the foundational piece that we have to structuralize and satisfy first. That's an emotional process. That is a mental, emotional process. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need to go get help, you need to go to therapy twice a week. You invest in that, investing in you. But really, though, so then you can be at a stable space. I don't take any medications. I'm diagnosed with all kind of stuff. But I use, and I'm not saying this as advice for everyone, but I use my ability and the foundation in myself, and I only surround myself by people that I know have my best interest in heart, in heart, in their hearts. Like, honestly, and they honestly, and it's a learning journey for me, but people show up differently when you change the energy towards yourself and when you really genuinely love yourself and you start moving through those aspects of yourself. Just look at yourself as a little child. Look at baby pictures. Understand what you went through. And look at yourself as if you're a girlfriend or a boyfriend of you. And you go, damn, she been through a lot. Damn. Like, so much compassion. To even have a home right now is like gold to me. Like I said, there was a time where I was sleeping on the beach, at bus stations, like, honestly, I was living in a trailer. Like, yeah, I was romanticizing it. Like, oh, we're gonna travel, we're gonna do this stuff. But my mental health was suffering, and I was dragging another person down with me as well. So, we were suffering together. But you have to understand the foundation of your mental health, what you choose to do with those energies. Do you choose to fill it with drugs and cigarettes and like even just weed and like numb yourself out? Because for years I smoked weed, and I'm not saying anything bad about it. Everyone's on their own journey. I'm just saying I knew that it was numbing me from the pain that I knew I needed to go to therapy to help, and I didn't do anything for 10 years. I learned things and I gained experience and I was in a normal job, but I dropped out of college at 19 to go do this shit, and I never continued consistently because of that and because of my things that I was diagnosed with as well. But now I'm understanding, oh, I have to create a balanced life. I have to create a purpose that's bigger than the high that I get, bigger than the little hits that I get from nicotine and alcohol even. Like, it's bigger than that endorphin rush that you're looking for all the time. Honestly, connection with people, just basic connection with people could help as well. We're a social species. No, you don't have to compulsively text people or compulsively date and other things. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. I'm saying interactions with people. Collaboration. There's a collaboration block because it's hard to work with people when they're not emotionally available. Like, at least for me, even my friends, we're all very open emotionally. Like, they know what I've been through. A lot of them know what I've been through. And as soon as we start, I categorize them. And, like, I know exactly where everybody stands, like, with me, especially, like, sexually. I have these boundaries and, like, these understandings of, like, just this thing I can't get over. Like, if you know that the lines are being blurred between you and I have a lot of friends that are guys too, and I have to set that boundary and that expectation, or I feel unsafe, to be honest. Something within me, somatically, I start to feel unsafe. So if we're not deciding to be talking or starting a relationship, then it's scaring me because that energy is very influential and it is persuasive. So if you have a best friend that you have that chemistry with, or you're not clear on where you stand, then they're not really going to be a good friend to you, are they? Because they're going to be jealous of things. They're going to probably not want your best. They're not for your best interest. They want something from you. And I'm not saying this with everyone, you can have all that. I'm just saying it's a very influential energy. So when you understand the laws of the universe, you understand energies, you understand motives, you understand people, emotions, that helps you be able to trust people. That helps you be able to build long-term friendships and reevaluate those connections as you go, but being really open about it and understanding. has served me well. Even, you know, I made mistakes, and decisions are really hard to make, but ultimately that has brought you to another way of being, and I think you've done this too. I think that you started making decisions because decisions are the way to move reality. Action is the way to move reality, and that's what the wands represent, the action. There's illusions that are coming to light. There's illusions that are coming to light within you doing this. And this is amazing. This is amazing because you can't see the greater plan for your life yet. And it fucking hurts sometimes. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it fucking hurts. You need a community of people that support you in your processes. And I finally found that. My friends don't judge me. And they're there for me. And I have groups of different friends where I know I can go to for different things. Like, you can have your everyday random, hit off the cuff, some random Sagittarius, not random, but my Sagittarius friend. Yeah, let's go. I'm ready. Let me put on my pants, you know? Let's fucking go. Like, all these random, my friend that like, have multiple relationships with people, because, like, friendships with people, because it's such a good thing to foster. And that's what that quote was talking about. Your relationships with your people in your life are your life. It is your life. It is your life. So it's confusing and anxious, and it doesn't feel good, and you're confused all the time, or you're scared to be your real self because you want to connect with people. That is okay, because I've been there. I've sat in the back seat and everyone's saying this shit, and then I start to join in, and I'm like, what the fuck was I even saying? I don't believe in that. You know, when I was young, and they would make fun of me for being a lesbian. So, or bi or whatever. It's like, no, you need people that allow you to do whatever you want to do, and also call you out in ways that are going to help and support you. Like, my friends do that to me. They tell me if I upset them. They know, you know, and some of them, like, they know that, like, everyone's different. You can have different relationships with everyone. You can have your, like I said, your adventure buddy, your everyday random shit buddy, like, come over and just hang out buddy. Like, I was gonna say I have an Aquarius buddy where if I go and hang out with her, I know that we're gonna talk some spiritual, like, enlightenment, like she has a podcast. Melissa, fucking A. I need to figure out what your podcast is named. What a good friend am I. No, listen, people, it's not perfect, but it's good. It's a good thing, and you have to show up honestly, and you have to be honest, and it's scary. It makes you shake sometimes, and you just do whatever you feel, honestly. Honestly, that's the message. Let's pull one more frequency card from the Frequency Tarot, and a combination of friends. Oh my god. Intimacy and mother. Intimacy, reverse. Let's get this in the picture here. Can you see that? Oh my god, I didn't even put the light. I put the light on color this whole time. Intimacy can happen in multiple ways. Look at those two women. I love that. Intimacy is many different things. Emotional intimacy, physical intimacy, intellectual intimacy. There's a big rift in the way that we see intimacy in the world. Like, are you really safe, or does it arouse you to be in fear? Because that's something to look at. And I could say this shit because I know what the fuck I'm talking about there. No one is perfect here. You know? If you're drawing this card in reverse, you are so identified with taking care of other people. This is the mother. The mother. Ooh, I'm gonna read these two both, and that they both came up reversed. If you've drawn the mother card reversed, you are so identified with taking care of other people's problems and needs so that you have lost touch with yourself. What was I saying in the last video too? You are sacrificing yourself in places where you do not need to sacrifice yourself. I was saying that in this video too. I saw the light, so I was like, okay. And you may even be resenting other people for doing this to you that you actually did to yourself. There's compassion there. We don't know any better until we see videos like this, start acting different, and then find other people out there that actually support you in the way that you want to be and show up. And you're supporting them. You're a beautiful friend. Just saying. You're going to have a lot of friends. I feel this. You won't be you won't be of help to anyone if your tank is running on empty. Self-awareness is currently difficult for you to master because you are so concerned with being good and doing right. But come out of denial and you will see that you are rescuing people because you want to be rescued. You are helping them because you want gratitude. Fastest way to gratitude. Fastest way to getting what you want is gratitude yourself for your little, and I'll show you what I do at the end. We can close in prayer for yourself, for your little cute butt, your big ass butt. Gratitude for your big ass butt, or whatever size you want it to be. You are doing what you are doing because you want something in return. Let yourself have what you want without manipulating people to get it. Boy, did I learn a lesson in that. That's why just seems like I changed. If you have drawn this other card, intimacy reversed, you are avoiding closeness with others. Your fear of rejection or your fear of losing yourself has caused you to shut people out, which is what I just said. You do not really let them see you and see them. You do not really see them, and you do not let them see you. Because if you have an expectation on how something should go, you can't see them for them. You can't see them, and like I was saying with the friends that are confusing, you have to be able to support them, and acknowledge, like, maybe they're coming across a connection that you're witnessing that is like the best thing for them, and you can tell. You have to be able to objectively, even if you like them or have chemistry with them or have this like weird situationship thing with them, you have to be able to, for the highest good, support their connection. So that might be hard if you're, so you have to like decode these things. You have to understand people for who they are, and you want actual intimacy, so you can't be putting all of your time into something that's not doing that same thing to you or what you are wanting or expecting. Like I said, emotional intimacy. Even if it is with friends, it's like it's just interesting because that comes with the extreme honesty from both people. Like really, and it's scary, and you just cry, honestly. So it's scary to have other people see you like that. Your fear of rejection there are always deeper layers of yourself to reveal to the world. It will feel vulnerable and exposing. I just said that. But the pain of staying closed is worse than any pain that could come as a result of being open. Your soul yearns for connection. Be brave enough to give it what it needs and wants. The consequences of not doing so is loneliness. Begin by getting to know yourself and by genuinely trying to understand others. That's what I was talking about. I'm not saying that's an easy process. It begins with being able to like shake your ass in private and go move through that shame. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Talk to yourself in the mirror as if you're having a conversation with someone, and let yourself cry and see yourself crying, and allow this to be a normal part of life, to emote and express and understand, and really try to be on the same exact page. And that page might be filled with tears and messy. But if you want real connection, you're going to have to do that. And there's people that are safe to do that and others that are not safe, and maybe it's just not the right time. But there are little ways that you can implement that. So I want to close with a gratitude prayer. And I'm going to get on the ground for this. Because this is how I like to do it. When I feel extreme gratitude, I like to, look at this. I feel like I want to get on the ground, and when I feel extreme gratitude, I get on the ground and I just go like this. Thank you. Thank you for this time together. Thank you for my friends, my home, my love, my fitness, eating healthy. Thank you for my willingness to show up for myself even in small ways when I feel like I can't. I still do. Thank you for those moments. They strengthen me. They strengthen that ability. Thank you for my investments in myself and monetarily. Thank you for this vision, this channel. This is a channel. This YouTube channel, this physical channel, this channel. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I do that a lot. I do know because it's been serving me very well. And do it in whatever way that your little processing brain, your big ass brain, and your spiritualness wants to process it. But let it come through your body and let yourself emote and let yourself feel those feelings. People care because they go through the same thing as you. Bye.